guys, today we're going to discuss decimals again. We're going to review tenths and hundredths, and we are also going to talk about mixed numbers and how we can convert or change those into decimals. So what we learned about on Monday and Tuesday is that we had these place values that we really had no idea existed. We had our decimal place values, which were to the right of our ones place, and they're separated by a decimal point. And when we see a decimal point, what word do we always say when we see that decimal point? If you know, shout it out. Yes, we say the word and. So every time we have a decimal point, we say the word and. Again, that's why I had stressed when we were reading numbers never to use the word and. And I said, because we're going to need to, use and when we get to decimals at the end of the year. All right, so we learned that we have the tenths place and we have the hundredths place. And the tenths place goes with our tenths right here. Our hundredths place goes with our hundredths. Okay, and now we also realized that there was a connection between fractions and decimals. So if I had my tenths colored in, let's see, 35 hundredths, sorry, I said tenths before, 35 hundredths. Then I know I can add that into my place value chart by putting my decimal and putting 35 hundredths. Now, when I have my tenths, crazy sloppy coloring job, that would be 9 tenths. And I can also write that in my place value chart as 9 tenths. All right, let's discuss mixed numbers, 4 and 3 tenths. So what does that mean? What does 4 mean? Well, 4 means 4 wholes, correct? So that would be 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4 wholes, right? That represents my whole number. So I'm going to shade them in because there are 4 wholes. I'm just going to do a little ziggle-zaggle. Okay, so that represents my 4. Now I have to do something to represent my fraction. So I need another model. And I need to show 3 tenths because we have 4 and 3 tenths. Which that goes with that. So do we agree that we have 4 and 3 tenths? Yes, 4 and 3 tenths. So how can I write 4 and 3 tenths as a decimal? Well, 4, what is the value of 4? 4 would go in my what place? That's right, 4 would go in my ones place because that's its value. Then 4 and, so I put my decimal point, 3 tenths. 3 tenths. So 4 and 3 tenths is the same as 4 and 3 tenths. All right, let's try another one like that. Okay, what if I had something like 235 and 4 tenths? All right, how would I write that in my place value chart? Well, 235 is my whole number, so I know that goes to the left of my decimal point. So I'm going to fill it in, 235, decimal point, 4 tenths, 4 tenths. All right, how about 63 and 9/10? Well, 63 is my whole number, so it's going to go to the left of my decimal point. 63 and 9/10. Okay, this is the same thing for hundredths. So let's take a look at how we can write those as decimals and fractions. Hold on. Okay, so what if I have 15 and 5/100ths? Okay, so 15 would be 15 wholes, right? So if I wanted to show that with a model, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I would need 15 wholes. So 15 wholes and 5/10ths. 5/100ths, I'm sorry. And 5/100ths. Okay, and then I just put a 5 there. Is that right? Oh, wait, no, it's not, because that means 5/10ths. Oh, silly me. Goodness. Oh, right. I need to put it where the hundredths place value is. So if it's 5/100ths, the 5 needs to be in the hundredths place. And then I put a 0 here. So 15 and 5/100ths. 15 and 5/100ths. All right, what if I had the mixed number 6 and 49/100ths? Well, my 6 would go in the ones place, my decimal point, 49/100ths, 6 and 49/100ths. Okay, so this is what your classwork and your homework are going to look like tonight. One sheet is going to be all tenths and one is going to be all hundredths. So you can use the tenths as your classwork and then I'll assign the hundredths as your homework. So what we have here is a chart that has numbers written in different forms. So we have decimal form, we have word form, and we have fraction form. So if we notice, decimal form is written as a decimal. Word form is written in words. And fraction is written as fractions or mixed numbers. It depends on the problem. Okay, so what I notice here is that they always give me a number to go by. They either give it to me in decimal form, word form, or fraction form. And then I need to look at that and I need to write it in the other two ways. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, so that says 0 and 2/10. Okay, it's a 0 and 2/10. So how can I write that as a word? Well, just like I say it, that's how I'm going to write it. So 0 0, again, you do your best with spelling the words. 0 and 2, whoop, look what I did, but I have to write it in words. And 2/10. Now to write that as a fraction, 0 and 2/10 is just 2/10. Okay, now when I look at the next one, I notice that they gave me the fraction. In this case, it's a mixed number. 6 and 3/10. 6 and 3/10. 3 is in my tenths place, so that's good. And then I would write it 6 and 3/10. Okay, now I look at the next one and they gave me the word form, 1 and 6/10. Sometimes when they give me the word form first, I like to write on top of it 1 and 6/10. It helps me to visualize a little better. So that's my fraction, 1 and 6/10. And my decimal is 1 and 6/10. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it for the tenths. Now I have some examples with the hundredths. All right, so they gave me 5 and 29 hundredths. So I can say 5 and 29 hundredths. 5 and 29 hundredths. Make sure you have that. Okay, 3 and 16 hundredths. 3 and 16 hundredths. Sorry, I really need a stylus. Okay, and for the last one, 15 and 13 hundredths. 15 and 13 hundredths. I always just say and really loud because I know that's my decimal point. 15 and 13 hundredths. 15 and 13 hundredths. Okay, so this is what your classwork and your homework look like. You're going to complete them. You can either, 1, take them out of your decimal packet. You can, 2, print them off of Google Docs, or you can fill it in on the computer. Either way, I want you to do your best to submit it through Google Classroom. All right, I'll see you later at our Zoom.